Welcome to Everyday Parenting Solutions Facebook Live. We are so excited to be with y'all, and it is bittersweet because the reason we're here with you is because these are trying times, and we want to help you with your children. We want to help you with your own way of dealing with this challenging experience that we're all living through with the coronavirus. My name is Susan Holt. I have my own business, Susan Townsend Holt Family Life Coach, and then I'm also director for an amazing group of women who are specialists each in our own area of parent education. The one with me is Meg Beamer, and she'll introduce herself. We also have a team including a pediatrician, a child psychologist, and plenty of other specialists in the parent education field. What we want to do is give you a chance to talk with us, and we will talk with you, and we'll just share and have a dialogue. So that's me.
Hi, I'm Meg Beamer. I'm an early childhood educator at St. Catherine's, where I teach 4-year-old little girls, and every day is filled with joy. In addition, I'm an early childhood educator / specialist with Everyday Parenting Solutions. I will be focusing on the younger child / younger children, ages about 2, 3, up to 6, 7. So we're excited to share what we know and to help ease your anxiety. And I think we should all just take a deep breath and let it out. Make sure our shoulders are down, and we're here to help you, and we're all going to get through this.
We are. We have a nice little way of looking at this that I'm hoping will validate where you are right now with your families and your children and yourself, but will also allay some of your fears and let us think ahead and be proactive. Our goals today are, first of all, as I've mentioned, to have a dialogue. This is a very dynamic situation that we're in, so we know that you're getting information probably on your phones right now, and so we will not be able to cover everything. But what we're going to do is include you so that you can tell us what you've learned and what you have questions about after we have our little sessions. So the goal is for us to have the dialogue, but start out by laying the foundation with what our expertise is. So Meg will begin with about 5 to 7 minutes on having the conversation about the coronavirus with little ones. And I will then concentrate a little bit more on dealing with, talking with children who are more in the elementary, teens, and tweens and teens age. But we're all the same. I mean, we know the whole ages and stages, the whole dynamic there. We want to start out by saying that this is foundational to dealing with children who are struggling with some kind of challenge. This is not new to us. That's the first thing we want to give you.
We've done this. We've got this.
Yeah, you are amazing. You are amazing parents, amazing teachers, and you have lots of experience. So call on that and know that you're okay. You're going to be okay. You've been there, done that. If you've had a death in the family, a death of a pet, if you've been through 9/11, if you've had to deal with the school shootings, I know I was involved with helping children after Sandy Hook. We've been there, done that. But guess what? This is different because this is something we're getting ahead of. We are being proactive. This isn't something that has just, I mean, it feels like it's hit right quickly, but we can use this to be stronger and more resilient and to empower our children. So we want to put it in that kind of light as we talk to you, validating the fact that it's a fearful time, but making sure that when we talk to our children, we help them be stronger and more resilient in ourselves too. So after Meg and then after me, we will open it up for questions and dialogue. And we're so thankful you're here. So go ahead, Meg.
So with millions of lives being disrupted recently, our children, they know something's going on. They might not know exactly what. They might not know the specifics, but they know something's up. They've seen us at the grocery store. They've probably heard headlines on the TV. They've seen us on our phones more than usual. Children are very sensitive little souls. It's one of their many gifts, and they pick up on anxiety very easily. They can read a room like no one else. So it's really important that we frame conversations with them in a very positive, proactive, developmentally appropriate manner. And that's exactly what I'm going to talk about. How to talk to your young child, ages 2, 3 / 6, 7. Again, a 2-year-old, we're not going to disrupt their lives. They're little ones. They don't need to be bothered with this. But if you have a very advanced 2-year-old and he or she is asking questions, then you're going to address them. So first and foremost, the first thing you want to do, we took a deep breath, let's do another one, Keep calm. I saw something the other day and it was a great t-shirt. It said, keep calm and wash your hands. So we're going to do that. We're going to keep calm even if we're not feeling calm. So
Right.
we're going to do those deep breaths.
We're the
going
adult.
to model decorum. We're going to set a very confident emotional tone that we've got this. We're strong. We care. We are capable. When we're talking to children, young ones, we're going to keep the discussion very brief and we're going to keep it age appropriate. We're going to meet our child or children where he or she may be developmentally. So if we're talking to a 3-year-old, we're not going to give them a lot of facts like we would give your tweens or your teens that Susan will elaborate on in a few minutes. So we want to keep it short, simple, developmentally appropriate. Before we can have a conversation, though, it's important to sort of glean, what do our children know? What have they heard? What have they been exposed to? Not to scare you, but children often know a lot more than we think. So you could start a conversation of, when mommy took you to the grocery store the other day, you probably noticed the shelves were empty, and your little one might not. Shelves, why do you think the shelves were empty? Your child might say, give you an answer. If not, lots of people are buying supplies because they want to stock up. There's a virus. You can name it or you cannot name it. There's a virus. Simple. Less is more in regard to specific details. You want to answer what they ask. So I think a great way to start is to always have a child draw a picture. You're not going to school for a little while. We want to keep everybody safe and healthy. That's why we're staying home and washing our hands and using best practices. Draw me how you're feeling. Draw me what you know. What do you know about this quote unquote virus? And so you'll be amazed at what your child might draw. Or if you have a really young child, if we're talking 3, have them draw a face or give them a paper plate and let them draw a face. Are you feeling happy? Are you feeling sad? Are you feeling scared? But we really want to talk about the feelings here. We want to give honest, accurate information. We don't want to scare them. Childhood should be a journey, not a race. It's supposed to be the most special time of a little person's life. They only need to know simple facts. I can't stress that enough. Let their questions be your guide. Once you know what they know, how are you feeling? What are you thinking? What are some things that you might be curious about? Follow their lead. Let them be the leader in this. Stick to the basics. Take advantage of the opportunity. We want to empower our children. We don't want to react. We want to respond. We want to respond in a very positive, caring manner. We can say, you know what? We need your help. Here's what you can do to help with the virus. You can wash your hands. Every time you come in and out of the house, use the restroom before you eat. You can model and demonstrate the correct way to wash hands. You can come up with a song. You can sing the happy birthday song. You can do the alphabet. There's some funny videos on YouTube of different songs. You can even come up with your own song. But, remind your child when you cough or sneeze, we're going to cover our nose and our face. We're going to use our elbow. We're going to throw tissue away and immediately wash our hands with soap and water. This is something they can do to help. Actively engage them in reaching out to others. This is a great time to have them write love notes. Maybe they're not going to see grandma and granddaddy for a little while because, older people might be doing self-quarantine. So they could do love notes. They could
Good idea.
Clean out their closets and take some things to Goodwill. They could help you put together bags of food with little love notes for children that really are going to need food during this because they depend on food from their schools. They can embrace this as a great opportunity to focus on health and wellness in general. Again, we're empowering them. Look for the teachable moments, life lessons, giving to others, being kind. We also want them to look to the helpers. I think of Mr. Rogers. What would he say and what would he do? He's still here. He's in our hearts. He always said, look to the helpers. Who are the helpers? Parents, teachers, custodians, doctors, nurses, us, Everyday Parenting Solutions. We are here to help. Maintain a predictable routine, a regular schedule with healthy meals, outdoor play. Keep to your schedule as much as you possibly can. Children, that is, I would say, security. Security and predictability are important. Conduct feelings checks. How are you feeling? Thumb up, I'm feeling great. Okay. Thumb down, I'm not feeling great. How can I help you? This is a great time to teach empathy, feelings. Check in on a routine basis. Again, they can fill in a paper plate with, the faces to show their feelings. Respond with empathy. Validate their feelings. Meet them where they are. The goal is to avoid producing unnecessary anxiety. Children spell love Time. You're going to need to spend extra time with them. Don't spend unnecessary time in front of social media or the television. You don't want them doing that. You want to be with them, reading to them, books about feelings, playing games with them, exercising outside, just reassuring them by your calm presence that everything's going to be okay. We will get through this. Sort out the what ifs sort out the what ifs from the what is, and model and practice good self-care. That means you have to walk the walk and talk the talk. So do not stay up all night. Practice, bedtime routines. Let them see you exercising. The weather's beautiful. Go outside, take a walk, take a run, practice some yoga, some deep breathing. More than anything, be present. Be present for your family and be there for them. We are here to help, and we hope you will reach out to us and that we can provide support and encouragement and some great resources throughout this process. And now I'm going to hand it over to Susan.
Thank you, Meg. That was just rolling along, and I hope you guys got some really good tips. They were very concrete tips, but also nice social emotional tips, because we really care about feelings. We know so much more through our neuroscience about how important it is for children to feel connected with before we correct them. Connect first. And that's what we're all about, is showing that positive discipline and using everything as a teachable moment. So that's really where we're coming from, is how do we connect with our children during this challenging time and validate how they're feeling. So for me, I just wanted to actually, a large part of how I was going to start out is what she's already said. It's our modeling. It's how calm can we be. We really want to encourage you to find ways that you can be filled up yourself and find containment. It's called containment. When we're anxious, do you have a safe person that you can talk to out of the earshot of your children? And you can say, I'm just so worried about, for 2 weeks, and what are we going to do about our finances, and what are we going to do about our food, and what are we going to do about grandmama? I would encourage you to have those conversations away from the children.
Please.
Calm yourself. I'm not going to say calm down, because people get mad when people say calm down. I'm going to say find a way to find your calm. And also, that way your emotional tone with your child will be completely different. And we just want you to take care of yourself that way. When you are with your child, I've suddenly lost my phone, but let me have your phone. Sorry. When you're with your child, please put your phone away. So when you've got your phone in front of your child and you're saying, I'm really concerned about you. How are you doing? How can I help? What's important right now is the phone. And that child knows that you're looking and you're just waiting for that next notice about the next event that's going to be canceled. That's what's really important. Even though you're trying to be there for the person, put it down and say, how can I help you? Can we talk? When you're dealing with the older child, you need to be consistently face-to-face, eye-to-eye, even for just 10 minutes, just so that you can be present for them. So do put the phone away, and that will calm you down too. It's a little bit of self-care. As Meg said, less is more. Be guided by your child. And another way you can model is through mindfulness. We've already done a couple of deep breaths. There's some amazing books. Now, this is more for younger ones. There's Good Morning Yoga, Good Evening Yoga. There are some beautiful books. This is one that I started using when we were dealing with some traumatic things at a school I had. It's called The Dark. Well, are you really afraid of the dark? How can we make the dark light again? There's another one called Blackout, where all the lights turn out in the family. I think Rocco wrote this one. And you can read that with your child or read that for yourself and kind of see that this could be a calming down moment for you to kind of turn dark into light. So the first one is modeling. The second one is, what age and stage are your children in, and what is their temperament? Anxiety comes from genetics. They come out of the womb being anxious sometimes, and it also is impacted by the environment. So you being their environment is going to calm them down. If you're dealing with elementary children, know that you are going to answer their questions and then take a break. Don't let it just keep spiraling and more and more and more. Say, you know what, we got to fix dinner. Why don't we fix dinner together? And then they are doing something and they are empowered. Why don't we take that walk? Why don't we go see the dog? So the elementary kids are going to need to stop and start, or they might spiral. The tweens, and some research I've seen says that they kind of might not understand the reality, and they might go into more of the fantasy and the what ifs, as you were talking about. So help them separate fantasy from reality. And when you get into teens and tweens, do the research with them, because you're getting away from managing everything in their lives to mentoring. So you are getting into de-parenting. When they're 13 or older, you're de-parenting. And with these guys, you need to give them a lot of coming alongside and let's see what you find and let's see what I find. And don't let the internet filters go. Make sure the internet is way filtered. Use everything possible to be vigilant about what your children see, especially since they're going to be home a couple of weeks. Okay?
Can I interject one quick thing?
Okay.
And it's okay. You're not expected to know it and be the expert. So if you don't know, it's healthy and okay to say, you know what? I don't know. Let's research it together. Or, this is feeling really heavy right now. Let's take a break, like Susan said. Go outside and exercise and come back to it. Be gentle with yourself as the way you would be gentle with your child.
And the other way to help the anxiety is to make sure that you have a predictable schedule. As soon as you know your school is closed or your event is canceled, get with your teen or tween and say, hey, we got an open book here. What can we do to structure our day? And weigh in improves buy-in. So they will buy in more if you're listening to them and figuring out, okay, you want 2 hours on the video games? How about 1 hour? And do some little bartering and figure out what would make it fun, and also use the time wisely for teaching. So you will have plenty of online resources for teachers when you're out there. We know we want to just kudos to you. We hear all sorts of wonderful things about how the teachers are using this as a teachable moment to teach science lessons, math lessons, but the social emotional lessons need to be in there as well. So you will have some resources when you go to our site later on after this Facebook Live. The next thing I want to make sure that I deal with is this is an opportunity again for teaching delayed gratification and experiencing delayed gratification.
Absolutely.
Has anybody heard of the marshmallow test? Meg and I have shown the marshmallow test a lot because it's classic. It was done back in the 60s, I think. But in the end, what it shows is that if your child is not willing to do the work and wait and make sure that they have got their things in a row, that they're disciplined in some way, they're going to grab that first marshmallow. If they can wait and see the reward at the end, it is hard, but it is a good predictor of your child's success. Build in delayed gratification. If they can, the whole strategy was if you give a child 2 marshmallows and you say if you don't eat either let's say if you get a child 1 marshmallow, you say if you don't eat this marshmallow, then in 10 minutes I'm going to come back and I'll give you a second one. But if you eat it now, that's all you get. And the child has to determine, what am I going to do? Am I going to eat this marshmallow now and forego the second one, or am I going to wait for the big reward? So this coronavirus is almost like what's at the end. Let's look at it as the reward at the end is that less people will get sick. We'll learn much more. We will be bonded more as a family because we're going to do things together. And in the end, your child will learn to wait and to work at something with your support. And that's particularly important for the teens and tweens as they're getting up and becoming the independent children you want them to be.
Some great life skills.
That's a life skill, a life lesson. Then enlist their help. Make sure they are empowered. Your older kids can do so much. They need a sense of control. They need to be able to help you pick out the food. They need to be able to help you at home with all of the chores and all of the things that help a family run well when you are not leaving the house a lot. So what can you do to take care of the other children, be able to go out and decide what the activity is for the neighborhood to play together? There are so many things that, how will they address their lessons? How will they study? How will they do their homework? What works for them? And listen, don't lecture. When you're talking to them, it is like Mr. Rogers. We really want silence to rule. Look at them. Look at them. And say, I want to hear how you're feeling.
Put the phone down.
Put the phone down. So less is more. Be present. And then the final thing I have for you is use this as an opportunity to develop your family values, your family rules. Your children will need the anchors right now in order to feel safe and secure, to know that they are safe, and kind of say, this is how our family does it. Our family doesn't go into their bedroom and watch video games for 8 hours. Our family likes to connect over a board game or cards. Our family likes to talk. Our family likes to watch a fun movie together and talk about the social emotional things and the fear that's going on, or the happiness and the happy ending. So make sure that that family connection is what your family values, and that this is an opportunity to do that. If you have a higher power, however you define your higher power to be, pull that into your situation right now so that you can allay fear. There is an end to this. We will get to the end. And make sure that they don't isolate themselves. We really need to all be connected during this. So that is kind of my main thoughts. There's so much that we can talk about, and we would like to hear from you. We have with us Amy Gorelick, who is our amazing videographer, and between her and Chris Townsend, we have two brand managers that are just always very supportive and have great ideas. So Amy is here with us, and she's going to let us know what some of your questions are so we can talk a bit.
Yeah, and the Facebook world has to catch up with your content, so it'll be just a couple of seconds till they hear that.
Delayed gratification.
A little bit of a delay.
Don't touch the marshmallow.
We won't touch the marshmallow. We know at the end that there's better things to come.
But we did receive some comments. Mia has said that they love that you ladies are talking about this in such a timely manner. Susan loves the idea of researching together. And Margot has commented that it's been so helpful, the ideas that you've given to calm kids, and sends thank you.
Good.
I'm hearing myself in my ear here, so they're just catching up. So we'll see if there's any questions.
Do you want us to show resources or anything while we're waiting?
Yeah, by all means, if you have some other content to share. As soon as I see a question, I'll let you know.
Talk a little about anxiety.
Yep.
We do know that children may manifest anxiety in a variety of ways, depending on their ages and stages. So I think I briefly alluded to little ones might have trouble sleeping. They might not want to be alone. They might be extra concerned about, are they going to get sick, or somebody that they love might get sick. They might be clingy, more tears, maybe more tantrums than usual. So just know that we actually recorded a video, Susan and I both did yesterday.
With the famous Amy Gorelick.
Yes, that will be posted on our EPS
YouTube
channel. We're getting this all straight. And so I addressed anxiety in young children, and Susan addressed anxiety in older children.
And we weren't even thinking about the coronavirus when we developed that plan.
After we filmed it, then we looked at each other and said, oh my goodness, we need to address the coronavirus and how parents can talk to their children. And so that's why we wanted to share ourselves and our resources with you. And we're so glad you joined us, because we are here to help.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have been very thorough. We don't have any specific questions, so if there's other content that you wish to dive into.
We've got some great resources.
Come up with some resources. There is a resource called, I don't know if any of you have used it, but Carly at wetalkers.com is an important one for language development, and she also deals with social and emotional skills. She's at www.wetalkers.com, and on Monday, I was just on her site, she's going to be putting every Monday in March, she's going to be putting up reading tips for the littlest ones, literacy tips. And I'm sure she's going to include something about how to handle what's going on now. She has an Insta story that she's going to be putting up about indoor games. And that comes online tomorrow. So if you go on to Carly at wetalkers.com for her Insta story on Saturday, March 14th, she's doing indoor games, because she knows a lot of us are going to be indoors with our kids. That's one of my favorite resources. Do you have one?
We do have a question.
Oh, great.
So Margot would like to know, how do you help your kids deal with the influx of doom and gloom news regarding the risk to elders?
Oh, like their grandparents
Correct.
Or something?
It's a great question.
Okay. You want to go?
I'll start. It's a great question. We're thrilled you asked it. Again, we want to listen. We want to validate it. And certainly explain that, as we get older, we need to be a little more careful about our health. But that, grandma, granddad, whoever the elders are taking really good care of themselves. Yes. They might be, wherever they live, maybe they're in self-quarantine, maybe they're choosing not to go out amongst the germs, that they are using best practices, washing hands, practicing good hygiene, all of that.
Social distancing.
Yes, thank you. That word, social distancing. Yes, which clearly we should
I was
be
going to say,
saying
I
so
forced
close.
you guys together. I'm
Yes,
sorry.
yes, it's going to be hard for me, but I'm going to have to learn to do it. Again, this would be a great time to use technology to FaceTime.
Please.
To send some, love notes, hold up some pictures, some encouraging words. Would you like to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, I've worked with families who have, the dad is on a military base somewhere, and those FaceTime calls, if they're regular and predictable, again, with anxious situations, be regular and predictable. Say, at 6 o'clock every day, we're going to talk to Grandma on the phone. On the FaceTime. And just make sure that they know that she or he is taking care of themselves and that there are helpers in those. Look to the helpers in those areas too. And if they're older, if they're an older teen or tween, my goodness, they can have really good conversations and say, hey, Grandma, when have you come through a challenging situation before? And hopefully Grandma, Grandpa, or whomever, the older person, can speak from experience. I think sometimes we forget how encouraged our children are when they find out that we have gone ahead of them. And it's going to be fine. We're safe, and we have a plan A and a plan B. Maybe it's not going to be so fine. Maybe there's some difficulty coming up ahead, but we are ready for it because this is life, and we're not going to rescue you, my daughter and my son. We're not going to rescue you. We're going to help you go through it, not around it, and we're going to be here with you to figure out how to do that.
Great. Well, we have another question.
Okay.
Susan asked, I love this. Is there a list of things that are bad ideas or actions that we take that might have great intentions but cause more difficulties down the road?
In talking to your child about CV-19.
I'd say saying too much. And sort lecturing, but sort of stream of consciousness. Children are gifted at, you'll be on the phone and you're going, yeah, and they go, Mom, how come you were talking to so-and-so and you said this, this, and this? They pick up. So I think we need to save our adulting for adult time and our parenting when our children, are there, and we need to divide and balance that. Again, focusing on the good things that are coming from this, the facts, what we know. What do you think, Susan?
I'm also thinking that you're asking for a list. I'm not sure there is a list. I think we are going to come up with some things for you, though. Another thing is community. If you're in a neighborhood where other children are starting to talk real negatively and say, everybody's going to get sick, this is the end of the world, then talk to the parents and kind of say, I noticed Johnny is struggling with this. What can we do together to help him understand that we're going to be okay, or that we're doing this and we're doing that? So be in community with folks and allay the fears of things that your children are hearing. I think your children can be undermined what you're trying to do with them.
But I love it's the opportunity to connect and to be in community and to build community. Our world, we don't really do a great job at that. And perhaps this is
going to
the gift, one of the gifts of this whole.
Yep, so I will jump ahead. Daisy actually asked for the resources to be typed here, and we will have that out to you here on the live stream, but it'll also be communicated on our Facebook page and in the newsletter. So just to let you know, Daisy. Susan also asked, how do we know when to reach out for additional help?
Great question. I would say as adults, when we are not able to go through our daily activities.
Yes. When it affects your daily life.
Yes, when it in a significant manner, we're not eating healthy things like we should. We're not sleeping. We're not maintaining our exercise. You need to intervene sooner rather than later. There are a lot of great counselors. When in doubt, reach out.
And we're there for you. I mean, we're that extra person, that extra help, because we really would love to come alongside you if you feel like you're at the end of your rope and it's like your little Sarah, she's stopped being able to go into her I was going to say school, but we can't go to school, so I can't use that. But she's having a lot of anxiety about places that she goes and people that she sees, and you can tell that it's disturbing her regular life. Then we can help you with some behavioral interventions and also with her social emotional health. We can also help you with your own boundaries because sometimes our children get manipulative. And actually there's manipulative temper tantrums, and then there's overwhelming temper tantrums. So you got to kind of know, when is the child really in distress, and when is the child just trying to connect with you in the wrong ways. So we can help you with that, with boundaries and that unconditional love that comes along with it.
And I would say self-care is of the utmost importance now, more than any other time. You are going to be spending exorbitant amounts of time with your children that you love and they love you, but it's going to get a little close. And so space, personal space, outside play, breaks.
Please get outside.
Break up routines, have that predictability, but have some open-ended things too. But you need to take care of yourself, and you need to have some down self time. So if that's, closing yourself in your bathroom and taking deep breaths, whatever you need, you need to do it, because, one of my favorite quotes and is that we cannot give to others what we withhold from ourselves.
You can't pour from an empty cup.
That's right. Doesn't work.
One of the other things is that we are going to post something called understood.org, and they've got something about coronavirus, the latest updates, and they have everything in there from what is current to what to do with your child at home. Mm-hmm. So if you're finding that your child is not coming alongside you and doing the work and getting into the schedules and stuff, that'll give you some good ideas that'll be fun and interesting, new ideas, fresh things that they wouldn't do at school. But if none of these things work, and you're still pulling your hair out and you're looking at other families and going, I really think that my child needs some extra help, then reach out.
Please, we're here to help. Again, Child Mind Institute is also another great resource.
Okay.
We've got a lot of good ones.
Okay.
No further questions right now, but we will certainly be monitoring the replay and responding along. And I don't think this is the last time we're going to be approaching this conversation.
I'll do my part. You want me to do my part, and then
yes.
you do your part? It's like Coda and Kathy Lee here. We're figuring this out.
Okay.
Who do you want to be?
I just want to be Susan. Thank you. That's what I've learned is good enough. I wanted to let you know that we do have the opportunity to talk again. We are looking at this as a possible continuing conversation. And maybe next Tuesday or Wednesday we'll be on. Please check your emails and check your Facebook posts for that. Let me find my notes, because I had specific things I want to make. Make sure you go on our EPS Facebook site and like the site.
Please.
And set your phone for notifications when new things come up. We're hoping to have our own Berrigan Nelson with us the next time we are together. She is a pediatrician with the Children's Hospital. And we just would like to continue this conversation. So you can email us. You can get us through contacting us through EPS, through Everyday Parenting Solutions website. There's a contact page. And my contact page is on Susan Townsend Holt. I just changed my business name, so I'm sorry I'm falling all over it. But Susan Townsend Holt, Family Life Coach. If you go there, there's a contact page for me there, and you can find out more.
And just a quick final thought. While we can't control what is happening in the world in terms of the coronavirus, we can control our thoughts and feelings and actions. And in doing so, we can maintain that calm in our household and in our community. Don't let the current state of things steal your joy. Don't let it change who you are, your values, your parenting style. Remember to look to the helpers, and Everyday Parenting Solutions is here to help.
Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
This was fun.